Welcome to another exciting episode of Unleashing Your Potential with myself, Coach Toriso. The show is all about unlocking your potential and enhancing your way of living. So today, here guys, we are talking about business. I've got business owners in the studio. Don't go anywhere. Guys, it's an honor to have you guys here. Just introduce yourself to the viewers out there. Let me start with Vusi over here.
Thank you, Tori. So my name is Vusi Dlamini, hail from Tembisa. I was born and raised in Tembisa. So I'm a business person, I'm an entrepreneur, and then I'm operating in a property space.
Okay, great. Yeah. Lovely, lovely. BK.
I like that, BK. So it's BK or Bokan Kelepa. You can call me either. Bokan was born in Rustenburg and brought up in Rustenburg. Part of my history, I stayed in Lesotho and then came back to South Africa when I was about 5, 10 and 6. So that's when I then started doing my grade 1 all the way up. Grew up in a mining town, Rustenburg. So basically that's what influenced my career, you know what I mean, in the sense that my background, I'm a mining engineer, worked with a certain big company. I suppose I'm not allowed to mention it.
Yeah.
For a good 14 years. Yeah, so from all the way from being their student, their graduate, and eventually getting to work in their corporate space, their corporate head office, which is basically in Joburg. And then I did what they call career extension, realizing that what I was doing, basically, I could sell it, you know, and basically that's where the gene of entrepreneurship was born from my end.
Okay, great. But then what literally led you to just say that I'm going for, since you were in the corporate for like 15 years, you said, what led you now to just say that I'm going to start my own business? What was the journey of you getting there?
It was literally a mix of things. There was spirituality in it.
Okay.
And also there was that ambition of being everything that you can be.
Okay.
So literally living a life without limits. I hate being boxed. I hate being told what to do. I hate being... I don't mind being informed. I don't mind being advised, you know, but I hate being in a box to say, these are your boundaries. Beyond that, the term that they used to use during my employment days was, that's beyond your paycheck, you know. Yeah. Those are decisions that are beyond your paycheck, basically talking to or referring to your partisan levels in terms of employment. But more than anything else, I really wanted to be everything, being all that I can be, you know. So as much as I'm in business, I like it when I see the numbers grow, but it's more about my growth. It's about the journey to say, here I was at this stage, and then this is who I am, and this is where I'm aiming to be. So it's more of a personal growth more than anything else. So all that growth that you see in a business, the increase in your revenue and everything, basically it talks to me as a growth as a person. And then the other thing would be the legacy issue.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a lot of, I work a lot of CEOs, I saw them leaving, and COOs and all those people that were leaving, and I'm thinking, you're gone just like that, you're going to forget about you, you know what I mean? And we do eventually, some of them have basically forgotten about them.
Yeah.
I wanted a legacy, you know, build something that I can say, my family can be working in it. So one of the things that we discussed when we were outside is that I've got a store in Sun City, I've got a gig in Sun City. My mom used to work in Sun City. My mom got retrenched from Sun City. You know what I mean? I didn't have any power.
Yeah.
She didn't have any power. It wasn't her company.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I've got an honor to say I own something in Sun City, and I've been able to employ some of my family members. You know, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of legacy that basically we're talking about. So that was more or less the reason why I wanted to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it literally becomes a calling, you know.
I like that.
when you start working, you know that at some point you're going to have to quit your 9 to 5 and get into business because, you know, you want to self-actualize. You've got all these big ideas, and then you've got, you've got passion to serve the community. You want to take your family from one level to the other. So you realize that your paycheck won't be able to help you to do that, you see. So I once read a book by a certain pastor. He said, for you to experience your paradise, as much as we as young people, we want to experience our paradises, he says, for you to experience your paradise, you've got to have at least 4 streams of income. So I realized that if you are stuck in one job and then you've got one source of income, then that means it's going to be hard for you to experience your paradise. So this is when I started to work on my multiple streams of income to say that what income streams are coming into my Garden of Eden, you know, for me to experience that kind of paradise that I'm dreaming about. So I always knew, personally, I always knew that at some point I'm going to go to business. It starts early. I mean, I remember, I don't know, my age, I'm very old. I still remember the people right now, they are calling it grades, but it was standard 2. No, standard 2, I was handling the feeding scheme in our primary school. That's where I realized that, you know, a business, it's simple, really. It's you providing solutions for a price.
True.
It's simply that.
That was actually my next question. What is business according to you?
Business is providing solutions at a price. So this is how I look at it. I've got a solution. Somebody wants a place to stay. All right? That's a problem. And then I've got a solution. The solution would be I buy a house because I have credit worthiness, and then the bank can help me to buy a house. And then you know, I modify the house, and then I can bring in this person. You know, I'm solving a problem for a price. You know, and then I've learned that, you know, everybody, you know, everybody's selling. People are afraid of selling. You know, people are shy when they have to tell people that they are selling something. People want to be in suits and ties and everything, which is cool. Everybody is selling. A doctor is selling. He is selling his knowledge and his expertise. You know, he went to university for 7 years and stuff. He's got expertise. He's selling it to you because you can't go to a doctor and say, I'm going to pay you with love. No, love wouldn't pay for their services, you understand? So a guy who's wearing an overall, you know, a blue-collar worker, a guy who's selling potatoes in the corner, they are working, they are selling something, you understand? So irrespective whether you're providing a service or whether you're doing a manual job, we are all selling. It's just that with your 9 to 5, somebody is determining how much your work is worth.
Cool.
You see? So that's why I decided that, no, I need to go to business so that I can determine how much is my hour worth.
I like that. I like that. BK, according to you, what is business? You've been in the business sector for quite some time.
I like what Vos is saying.
Honestly,
business is about the solution that you're offering. As long as we can start with that, I'm in what they call, like I said, I'm a mining engineer by background, and a lot of things that we offer it in consulting space, and which is basically the technology adoption. That's what you do. So we'll help you buy the technology and also as well help you in adopting that technology. But when I go there to the mines and I do a presentation to say, guys, this is the technology that I sell, that technology has to be taken to a certain problem. What problem are you talking to? I mean, that's the most important thing that you should be asking yourself if you go into any business. What solution are you offering? If you go in there for the end result, which is the money, you may find it difficult to sell, I promise you. And you're going to be losing your why. I like this book. It's called Start With Why, or Starting With Why by Simon Sinek. I follow his teachings. He's quite a good guy. He's written multiple books. What is your why? So each and everything that you're going to be doing, you must be asking yourself, what is your why? And along the way, I like the part that he mentions that he says, when the great Martin Luther King was giving a speech, the great speech of I Have a Dream, there was over 250,000 people. And at that time, there was no social media. There wasn't any social media, your Facebook, your emails and everything. There wasn't any, but people traveled from all over the world to go listen to him giving the speech. And the question he raised was, how many of those came from Martin Luther King? And you know, the answer was zero. You know, all those people came there for themselves. So when you go out there selling a solution, there's a certain people that you are targeting. So if you get a rejection in business, there's nothing wrong with that. It means those people, they don't need your solution. You're not talking to them. You're not talking to their problem. You know what I mean? People come there for themselves and then they follow. You know, that's how the whole thing happens. So for me, business is literally what he says. It's literally offering solutions. That's it.
Okay, so I need to identify what problem is out there and then see if I can offer a solution. Let's say now I'm a viewer at home. I feel like, geez, this word entrepreneur or business is fancy. I want to get into it. Currently, I'm employed. How do I go about starting just to have a business?
Yeah, well, I think it's a mixture of dynamics here.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to determine if you have enough time to spend in that particular business that you want to start.
Okay.
All right. So there's going to be plenty of ideas. I mean, you're going to come across people who will say to you, "Here's a product. It's a wonderful product. You can push it out there to the market, and then you will earn amazing money and stuff." That's business. All right. So you'll have to determine, do I have a skill of talking to people? Am I able, to sell or whatever the case may be? You see, you have to start within, to look within yourself to determine if you have those capabilities of maybe starting whatever particular business you want to start.
Yeah.
So, but I believe everybody, has multiple talents. I mean, you could be working in a job that you hate, and then there's this specific thing that you love to do. I mean, I would say, to a person, that's where you should start, because you already have an advantage. You love that thing, whatever thing that you have inside of you.
Yeah.
You love it. You probably have passion for it, and then that's the right place to start. Let's say maybe you're good with cooking, all right?
Yeah.
You're good with baking. Or
Yeah.
maybe you can cut hair.
Yeah.
You can start there and say, maybe on weekends I can, provide a little time and then invite people and test my idea. But the thing is, you've got to start.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing people have got to understand, is that whatever idea that you have, you've got to test it, start, because the idea is dead as long as it's in your head. You have to put it out there in the market and see if it's going to be successful or not.
I get you.
Yeah.
Start with, okay, great. Yes, BK, what can you say about that?
So
Where do I start?
you hear a lot of people saying, start where you are and start with what you have.
Yeah.
That starting with what you have is very important.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be talking about what you call career capital. There's a guy that I love his books. I think is it Ryan Holiday or is it Cal Newport, one of them. Basically, he speaks about the career capital. When I started my business, I started with what I already knew. And basically, I was going to be expanding on it moving forward. That's how it was going to be. So when you're going to be starting your business, start with something that you know that you can provide, something that you are sure of, something that you've got prior experience of. You can't just jump and then you say you want to go be a personal trainer when you haven't been doing anything on personal training, and you don't even understand the lingo. Then you find people who've been in that space for so long.
Yeah.
So start with where you are, and then from there, others as you go on, then you can branch into them. Obviously, it's going to be maybe, let's say you're approaching it using the Richard Branson's approach, where he says, I'll invest into music. I'll have Virgin Records, but I'll have an expert leading that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I'll go into airlines, Virgin Airlines. I'll have an expert leading that. Don't get it mixed up. People think, he said, I'm just going to start an aeroplane business when I'm just working in the street. No. There is that sense of partnership to say, if you're going to be going to this, you can partner with somebody who understands the business, but you should also be bringing something to the table. What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't just be going there to be carried. That somebody, then their brains are the ones that are going to be carried the whole business. Start with where you are, but start with what you have. And that what you have, what is that you have?
What is it that you have?
Yes.
You a mining tapper, like, what do we call it? What do we call your business that you're doing?
So we are Baletsema mining.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Baletsema mining.
Yes.
Okay.
So literally, when I left my employment, I had already identified a couple of mines, small mines, that didn't have the services that we have within the Anglo or the group.
Yeah. Okay, and then you decided that the solution that the mining need, it is what you're going to offer.
I'm going to offer that. That was my start.
Okay.
So now, the thing about business, I like standing up because I'm a keynote speaker and I'm sitting down. I feel like I'm in prison and literally like there are cables around me, but it's fine. So literally there's what you call, I say to people, a maze. Do you know a maze?
Yeah.
I hope you guys are familiar with maze. You have A, B, C, D, E, and maybe it's a red and there's a cheese at the end. And you have to choose the right slot for you to be able to get to the cheese. With business, I can tell you those entries, they can be a lot. And for you to be able to get to the cheese, you may have to walk back a lot of times, trying to figure out your way. And I said, that red, for me to be able to get to the cheese, it needs energy. And that energy is literally money. So I get married, I've got 2 kids. I've got bonds, not a bonds. got cars, car installments, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I say, what am I going to be doing? So I'm a certified coach and a speaker through John C. Maxwell. That's a skill itself. I'm a mining engineer. That's a skill itself. I've got business acumen through my my business, my MBA, and also that the fact that I was making decisions from a business point of view when I was with my employer, because I was at that level where literally I was talking to the external stakeholders and seeing if the business is going to make business sense or not. So I've got a lot, you know what I mean? So I said, okay, this should be able to take me somewhere. I leave, I resign, and then I start going through the maze. You only have just over $1 million to play around with, which is basically my pension fund after I resigned.
I'd like to pause you right there. I wanted to continue this discussion of your journey, making this mining company the best as where it is now. On that note, guys, we're coming right up. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. BK, please just explain more further how you got to where you are now with the mining company that you have.
So, no, Teresa, there I am, and I'm saying I've got multiple skills.
Yeah.
And speaking being one of them, like I said, I'm a certified speaker as well.
Yeah.
So I go into mining, work with those small mining companies. I'm able to sell myself. I build a brand, which is Baletsema. It's a company named after my mom. Okay, let's see how it goes. We start working, you get paid. Before you know, you do not get paid. You know what I mean? So business, it's small people, and those are the risks that you really never thought it would happen. You know, now people are small and they can't pay you. They still have to wait for whoever to pay them along the value chain, and then eventually you're going to get paid. And those are the things that you really never expected. You know, we thought business will be a smooth journey that you can just prepare overnight with it. You think when you've done your MBA and you know your stuff in terms of being a subject matter expert, you think that's it. No, it isn't it.
Yeah.
Hence I'm saying it's an exploratory journey. Every day you get to discover new ways, you get to discover even the new you.
Yeah.
There's a point that I was very quiet and I'd be the one listening to my wife. I mean, usually I'm a speaker and I'd just be listening because I thought like, I felt like I didn't know anything. I felt like I was now a learner.
Okay. Yeah.
Versus when I basically left employment where I thought I understood my stuff.
I got
this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got even an overview point of view to say, how does the mind really work? So you know what I mean? But now you get this, now it's a whole new different place. You're not protected. You are that rat that is out of the cage, that is not being fed. Now you have to go look for the cheese yourself, you know?
Yeah.
I come across a brother and I love his value proposition. I'm already cutting my hair by his place. That's basically legend. And I said, when you're ready to franchise, my man, you know what?
I'm your
my
man.
hand is raised, you know, and we can even build further together. Basically, I can even come and offer some advisory information there to say how do you basically grow a business and all those kind of things. Let's see how we can walk the journey together. At that time, he's 100% owner of everything. We get into that. While you are running after those big goals of yours, your multi-million project or multi-billion projects, you need something that's going to enable you to be able to travel in this maze that I spoke about. When you need to turn back, when Teresa says, Pokan, come pitch for me. I want to see what you're selling. You know what I mean? Yeah. You need petrol to do that. If Teresa is on the other side of the world, you have to fly there. Yeah. You have to book accommodation there. You have to... What's that thing that's going to make sure that you don't get stuck by the roadside because you ran out of petrol? No. Petrol is actually the secondary. You ran out of money. You understand? So you couldn't be able to put petrol. What was that? And for me, this cash business, and that was continuously going, and which was basically out of my expertise, but I had partnered with an expert. Yeah. It ensured that short-term liquidity, that every day there will be cash flowing.
Cash flow coming in.
Somebody has already identified a problem. That guys needs cuts, and they need decent cut.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's when I said to you guys, you make sure that you partner with an expert.
Partnership is quite key.
With an expert.
Sure.
You know, I'm
with
there.
An expert.
I'm bringing
not just
money.
Anybody, but with an expert on that field.
Precisely, I'm bringing my skills as well. That are basically a bit different from yours, but they're going to complement each other. You understand? So not that now I'm giving up my mining. I'm not giving up my mining. I'm still a miner. Yeah. Now I'm a speaker. How do all these things? How do they merge? I'm going to work a lot on my marketing. That's what I decided, which is just building the brand. Yeah. Taking Baletsema from a small company that is started in my garage, and that's where the office is. When people call me, they're thinking I'm sitting somewhere in a fancy office, and no, flip. I'm in the garage. But the website looks good. Everything looks good. I'm going to leverage on marketing, you know? marketing, speaking, and then we launched all this amazing stuff. We did a 4-hour in mining seminar where I was just focused on the changes that have been done by the fourth industrial revolution and how is it going to be affecting mining, you know? So already now the brand is growing big. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So now people are starting to call you. People start want to be affiliated with the brand. And now with that, money is coming underneath, and then eventually now you're able to also set up an office until the business is what you desire it to be. You know, before it was even that. So that's basically how it has been.
I like it when you say that when you left corporate, you just thought, I got this. But that from what you just said, I'm picking up that there is a difference between knowing and doing the work. So now when you had to now start a business, you literally had to apply all that you know, that you thought you knew, but then still it was not enough. We won't talk about the challenges about the business. Vusi, you are, beside property, you are a restaurant owner.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
How did that come about?
Yeah, actually, like I'm saying, Ugutingu property business.
Yeah.
So my first step was to enter the market through residential property, acquiring the property and putting in tenants. Yeah, so obviously I've got a long-term plan where you want to be a Trump as a South Africa, you own my skyscrapers and stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
so that's the vision, to go into a space where you build them malls, like Usisangebula, So, but this is where I started. Now, what happened is that I had this plan, I'm going to build some nice bachelors at Tembisa, which is where I grew up, all right? So the plan was that I'm going to buy a house in Tembisa, demolish the house, and build, your nice bachelors, 10 bachelors or more. So in the process of that, you're trying to source some funds, you're struggling to source some funds, but eventually I bought the property. The property was lying there dormant for about 14 months. So 14 months I'm paying a bond, but there's nothing happening there. The property, there's nobody. The property is just empty, it's lying there.
You keep paying for it.
I pay a bond. I pay a bond on a monthly basis, and I have to pay my rates and stuff, you see. So now, at the point where I got ready, which now I'm ready to build, then we had a problem, COVID-19. Then, the country was, locked down, and then this is where we experienced that problems are maning, because now all of a sudden tenants, even your good tenants, were struggling to pay your rent. Now this is when I got scared to say no, I'm not going the same route. I mean, I already have 2 rental properties. If I go this route now, it means I'll be sitting with the same problem.
The same problem,
you see? Now I had to think quickly, and then a friend of mine, Utato from Soweto, suggested, why don't you sell food, we are on lockdown, but food is going and stuff like that. So this is when the idea of a restaurant came to me. So I sat down, prayed about it, because I always do that. I pray about ideas. I prayed about it, thought about it. After 2 days, I made my decision. I went to that house. Then, I modified it to become a restaurant that it is today.
Wow.
So the name of the restaurant is HAYA. I know you were going to ask me that. The name of the restaurant is HAYA, H-A-Y-A. It's a nice restaurant. It's different in the sense that I thought that we need, decent restaurants in Lokshin.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah, especially Tembisa. There's a high,
there's a high
demand
nice
for
vibe.
that. Exactly. There's a high demand for that, A decent property, you make your property to be very nice, and then you sell decent food. So that's what we've done. So
selling point,
we've changed that property from what it was, and then we made magic with it. And then now it's very beautiful. It's more like you are in Rosebank. When you are at HAYA, you're in Rosebank.
I saw.
I
saw.
It feels like you're in Rosebank at Tembisa. So it's amazing. People, they appreciate nice things.
Quality, Baba.
Yeah, quality. Yeah. They would come, even before we opened the restaurant, people would come and just take pictures next to the property because it's nice. You see, so even right now, after we've opened, people will just pass by and say, please let us, take pictures. This place is nice. We just want to post to Facebook and stuff, and we appreciate that. We allow people to come through. But the idea is not only that we want to sell food. Yes, we are a restaurant. We are selling food, but my vision is bigger than that.
All right.
I don't believe that you must use your property for only one purpose. I mean, I regard myself as a community builder.
Okay.
You see, so already I was having in my mind, you know, an idea of building a studio like this one. I was having in my mind an idea of building a leadership center where I would train young people, upcoming leaders and young people who want to enter business, you understand? Call business people like my brother PK here, you know, as a motivator. This is how I started. Because people out there are hungry for information.
That's so true.
And we are connected. You know Utoriso, you know my brother, you know the brother there on the camera. They can come and impart in knowledge, you understand? So my idea is that HAYA is not going to be just a restaurant where people just eat and go home. No, it's a place of sharing ideas. It's a place of empowerment. We're going to have an empowerment session. You know, one night we just shut off the restaurant and say it's a night of motivation. We call motivational speakers and talk to people for free. We empower people. You understand?
I like that.
As it is right now, we've got an event coming up on 15 October. It's Tembisa Business Expo. We're going to having a lot of companies lining up there on the street at Tembisa, you understand, where we're talking business.
I like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the idea.
Township development.
Township development.
I like it a lot because of you are taking it there. And most people will want to leave the township so that we can advance in the city. But then if you are taking it right back there where people are, that's quite a great thing to do. I like it when you even say that you are a community builder. Definitely, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. But let's talk about the challenges of business, as everything has challenges. Bakang, what challenges did you have to go through in order to be where you are actually now?
Yeah, look, the challenge that I literally mentioned is you thinking that business, it's what you read about.
Easy road.
No, it's not easy. When you get there now, when you realize that you are all by yourself, you are exposed. Versus fortunate, he told me that he has never been an employee in his life. So he has basically been an entrepreneur, a semi-entrepreneur. So with us now, you're exposed because whether you put maximum effort or minimum effort at work, you're still going to get your money on the 28th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now with business, now you're not guaranteed that. And you didn't even realize the value that others had in your life. You had HR, you had finance that was doing the financials, the pay slips. You had somebody who was doing the marketing for the company out there. Remember, you had a marketing department. You had, basically, you've got all of these things, and you even have got direct reportees who are basically doing the work when you finally maybe got the work and say, guys, make sure that this and this is done. Now you start, now you're basically everything.
You're alone.
Yes.
All these responsibilities, they're just facing you.
They're just facing you. And even if you go ask for help, you have to be really specific in the help that you're asking for, because now literally now you're being directive.
Sure.
This is what you need, you know? And you don't get paid. Then you get there, it's a small company as well, because that was my target market. The smaller minds that were around to do the consulting for them and to basically outsource some of the things that they cannot have within your business improvement as well. You know, that's what you do in project management. You want to expand your mind, but you don't want to keep somebody there. Here's spoken for you. And now they get stuck. They can't pay you. So those are some of the challenges that I basically had to say. How do you deal with that? What do you do with that? You know, you end up learning. You're learning as you go. You know, it's always not a loss. It's also a lesson while you're at it. So yeah, that's the challenges that I've basically faced up to those four. You know, partnerships that don't work as well. Hey, how can I forget that? You really partner with people, and I think the most important thing is to make sure that your values are aligned. And take your time in defining that partnership. Really take your time while you guys are still learning each other to see if you guys are in the same wavelength, if you guys are running the same way, you know, if you guys are sharing the same values, if you don't, if you guys can basically develop the same values within each other, you know, something that is a common vision. So that's one thing that I also learned also later on in the stage, and like, oh, he was my partner, he's no longer my partner. You know,
you lose them along the way, you gain some. You
lose them along the way, you know, they lose me as well along the way. You know?
Okay, great.
So,
Vusi, what would you say about the challenges of in property and in having a restaurant?
Yeah, it's basically the same challenges. I mean, you're running this business, you have to do everything. Like he's saying, when you have the experience of of an employee, you've got various departments that are doing certain things for you, your payroll and stuff. So now you are running the business, you've got to be everything. Yeah, you've got to be everything. You've got to be the salesperson. You've got to know every aspect of your business. You've got to know your value chain, you know. So it's really important that, you know, when you start your business, you spend much time in it, you know, you to develop your concept, and also to think about the vision that you have, because it's going to test you. I normally tell people that when you're starting a business or whatever idea that you have, you know, when you go to an implementation stage, it is going to test you. No idea is going to give you a reward without testing you. So your business, it's a principle. It's got to test you. You know, are you in it, you know, for a long haul, or you just want to make a quick buck and you know, and go away, you know? Yeah, so every type of business that you're going to start, it's going to require your time, your dedication. Yeah, so the challenges that I'm meeting right now is that you have a shortage of resources. You don't have enough people to help you in your business. If you need more people, you've got to pay, and then you know, you don't have enough financial resources. And another thing that I found challenging is to convince people of your idea. I can tell you right now, as we have opened the HAYA, you know, the prevalent idea in the location is that when you're opening up a place or an eatery, you know, it's shisanyama / pub. That's a prevalent idea. So when people are coming into your premises, they've got that idea that, you know what, it's the same concept. Now you have to explain to people, but, you know, my intention is for this thing to become a family restaurant, not a pub. Because I'll get questions like, why don't we have a savannah now? Why don't we have our favorite beer and stuff like that? You understand? And then I have to explain to people, but no, I'm in the middle of Tembisa where we have a pandemic of alcohol abuse. You understand? My intention is to make people happy by serving good food, you know, and serving beverages that are not contributing into the problem that we are facing. And you have to elaborate, and then people, they question your values, understand your business acumen, but you've got to stand firm and know where you're going. On
that note, guys, we are coming right up. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I like this. I'm learning a lot about business. Okay, I don't want to talk about me, but you were talking about the challenges that you are facing as a restaurant owner. Just let's talk more on that.
You've got to be able to define where you want to go. You know, there's many restaurants, and then they're not all serving the same purpose. So I believe you gotta know where you're going and be able to, you know, communicate that to your customers. One of the biggest challenges that I'm having is that you get people, they mean well, they want to come, you know, and convince you about their ideas as to how you should do your business.
Your business,
you know, some they will come and tell you, we can get you a license, your jwala, you know.
Also, you don't sell alcohol in the restaurant?
We don't sell alcohol. We don't sell alcohol. The only alcoholic beverage that we have is wine, because it goes hand in hand with food.
The food,
I've never seen people abusing wine when they're going to eat. It's only
any specific reason why you decided to go that way? Because, like you said, it's a norm for a restaurant to sell or to have alcohol.
Yeah, well, it's personal beliefs, I think it goes hand in hand with my values. There's nothing wrong with a restaurant selling alcohol. It's just that in the middle, I believe, in the middle of Tembisa, where I'm trying to motivate people to pursue their potential, you understand, to do the things that they believe they were born to do. And then you see them hindered by alcohol. Some of them are slaves. I believe we ought to have a branch of AA on every street corner, you know, in Tembisa. But unfortunately, we have a tavern on every street corner. It's not making any difference. It's not, according to me, all right, and this is subjective. According to me, it's not adding any value. It's not adding any value. It's not changing the dynamics of our society. So I see myself as one of, I'm a community builder. So I believe if I make it a family restaurant, you will be able to come with your family, your children,
Your kids,
you know, in a chilled environment.
I like that.
You know, lagna music or rasayo. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
You understand? There are people who are doing that, and
Yeah.
there are people who want that.
Yeah.
But also, I've learned that there are people who want this, the kind of environment that I'm offering.
Definitely.
A chilled place.
You saw a need for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
even if maybe you're a pastor,
Yeah.
you want to come with your youth ministry and say, let's go out. You
Yeah.
understand? You
Yeah.
can come to my place because it's a chilled place. You
I
know,
like
nizozwana even kulum.
Sure, there's no
Akuso
that
music all
noise.
loud. They
Sure.
understand with an ansazwana
Yeah,
kulum.
yeah.
That's my intention.
I
you
like that.
understand?
I
Yeah.
like the intention.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I really like what he's saying, and you know what, he has identified his client. A lot of people, they don't know who they are trying to sell to, you know. I always say to people, my client in my barber shop, I can tell my client, like, who's my client, just coming from there. Just them walking there, I know who's my client. Age group, hair, what kind of hair,
Yeah.
their trends,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I can tell you that even if this person hasn't been into my store before, he's going to fit into my store.
Yeah.
You knowing your client is very important. You know, identify your clients. You're not trying to be everything to everybody. You
Sure.
know, and if somebody doesn't come to you, they're not the one. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You're not
Yeah.
trying to
That,
be everything.
yes.
And we find a lot of that happening. So one of the things that I also wanted to mention is we talk about financial capital when it comes to business. There's also the career capital that I spoke about. Just extend from what you're doing, right? That for me is very important. You know, you see a lot of black businesses support black businesses. A person doesn't know anything about what he's doing, but he's like, support black business.
What
No.
are we supporting?
Go end those steps as a business person. You know what I mean? Go end those steps. You know, we should be saying, Toriso, she says she's offering coaching. Who's this person? What does she know about coaching?
Sure.
What has she done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a lady who wanted to sell her marketing skills to us, and I said to her, what can you offer? And it was more of a motivational speaking than coaching, you know, than selling, because
Sure.
we wanted to basically improve our sales. What's your background? What do you have to offer? And along the way, that you basically could see that she doesn't know what she's basically
Sure,
talking about.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But they say support black businesses.
Quality.
Quality,
We
you
want
know
the
what you're
quality.
going into.
We support quality.
Then now let's talk about the social capital.
Yeah.
You need to be knowing people, and you need to be able to make use of those people as well.
Yeah.
Who do you know? Niaz Banban, he has been in the restaurant for this
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
He can help me as I start in this restaurant
Sure.
business. Johannes, for me, my first partner was Johannes. He's been in this the mining business, consulting business for a while. Let's basically talk and let's see how we can add value to each other. And you know, it's very important. And then the emotional quotient, and that basically talks to your adversity quotient. Then knows that you're still gonna get in life. You know, the what do you call abantu bazotini, what do you call
Yeah, the
you know,
syndromes one, yeah.
those syndrome that you're worried that what people are going to be thinking about you.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people obviously they don't wish you well, especially when you leave the career to say, oh, he thinks he's better than us, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, with those ones, I always say, intelligent quotient, it may be a bit easier to get it because all of us get to go to universities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get to this EQ side,
Yeah.
your soft skills that are going to help you
Yeah,
to
sure.
prosper and survive in the business world, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember I read this book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, by Mark Monson, and I was like, I wish I could have read this book much earlier. If I could have read this book much earlier, I wouldn't have been worried about what people are thinking about me.
Yeah.
You know, when I fell, I could have been able to stand up and say, what is it? What tripped me? What is that I'm going to make? What is it that I'm going to do to ensure that it doesn't trip me again in the future?
Yeah.
Where did I fall? You know?
Yeah.
But instead, I was worried about
What
are
people
people saying.
say.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey.
they're laughing at me.
Say.
You see people laughing, and you're even thinking that they're laughing about you. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
But the moment you read, when I read that Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, it basically said to me, each and every person they've got their own problems.
Yeah.
They've got their own problems to deal with.
Sure.
You know, and not everybody's thinking about your problems all the times.
Yeah.
Maybe it may be a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
But it really helped me to let go. You know what I mean? Then from there, I read the greatest salesman in the world, and basically it literally spoke about selling. Like you were saying, we are all selling something. You know, even a kid, you know, we're influencing. You're trying to influence that somebody can, you know, give you something in exchange for something. You know what I mean? I read that book and literally worked on me. Where my mood, I would wake up and I feel that my mood is not good today.
Yeah.
That book covers it. What is it that you do when you're feeling that
When
you're
you're
not in a good
feeling
mood?
that low, yeah.
Because when you go sell to someone and your mood is low, rest assured they can read that energy.
That energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You understand? And they
Yeah.
won't buy. You understand all
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
I would get rejected. And after I get rejected, pop, hang up, next call with the very same energy.
Same
the previous
attitude, same
You understand
energy,
what I'm
sure.
saying? And I'd be okay. And I experienced this when I was doing my 4-hour in mining seminar, you know, and because there are people who said yes, some said no, some said maybe, some said yes and they didn't show up on the day.
Yeah.
But because of all these books that we've read on EQ, the ones that are there, they were entertained. They mattered the most, and I made sure that I gave them the very same treatment that I would give them even if that guy had came.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That didn't come or that didn't show up. So all of those kind of things, your EQ, you also have to invest in it. And basically read those books that are going to help you in business. Do read them. There's always something that I learn in a book.
That's
always can be one or two things. Sometimes it sounds repetitive, but there's always something that I walk away with. You know, so they say leaders are
readers.
Exactly.
Do you guys have mentors? And how good or how best is it to have a mentor in your life in the business sector?
It's critical.
Yeah.
It's critical that you find somebody that you admire. You know, you don't have to be limited to a single person.
Sure.
You can have multiple mentors.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can admire a person in property. I mean, a person who's successful in property. And then that's where you want to go, and then you can approach that person.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get information. Let's say experience kids over 20 years. You're going to get that experience in such a short space of time, you understand? So that's the advantage of having a mentor, is that you will avoid many pitfalls that you could have, you know, got yourself into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I like the point that my brother is raising about reading. You know, it's a privilege. It's a privilege when you are able to buy a book or maybe borrow a book and read it, because what it literally does, it puts at your disposal the experience of the author.
Yeah.
You know, at the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
You don't
How
have
nice
to,
is that?
Yeah, you don't have to take a plane and
Sure,
go and listen to John Maxwell in Texas, USA. No, you can just read his book here and get all his wisdom packaged, you understand, in a book. So I'll definitely say, you know, you can have virtual mentors, and then you can have mentors that you can, organic mentors that you can see, you know, eye to eye and discuss. People who will guide you, you know, in every aspect of life.
It doesn't have to be only the person that are already out there. That is part of it, but look around as well who you have.
Yeah, you can have people around you. You must respect the position that
they are in.
I mean, if you have a mentor, let's say you're a married person, you have a mentor as a couple. It's people that, you know, they are displaying, you know, a good side of marriage, you understand? They are successful.
And that's what you want.
That's what you want.
Sure,
So you'd approach those people. It doesn't have to be famous people. It has to be people that you admire or respect the position that they're in. Like I'm saying, others are going to be virtual. It's not going to be people that you're going to meet. I mean, I don't know T.D. Jakes. I haven't met Simon Sinek, you understand?
But then I read
their book.
Sure.
And then when you read their book, you can actually identify with their spirit.
Sure.
Like I love Steve Biko. I've never met him. He died a long time ago. But I love his spirit. I love his spirit of building a community, to say that a business mustn't be just a business for you to get money. You understand? What is it doing for your community? You understand? Is your product, I mean, I believe it's crime for you to have a business in a specific area and then you don't help in that community. You don't buy, I mean, you haven't sponsored anybody concerning a studies up. You haven't given a bursary. You haven't helped anybody. You're just taking. It's wrong. I believe it's crime against humanity to be taking money and go away, which is what is happening these days, you understand? Yeah, so I ascribe to that kind of leadership where, you know, you go into a place to empower people. Yes, you are bringing your solutions, all right? You're empowering them with your solutions, but at the same time, you are looking to see if there are any, you know, loopholes where you can come and say, here's my help, I'm giving back to you.
You are indeed a community builder. BK, do you have a mentor? And do you
so I used
mentorship?
to have a mentor when I was in England, because it was easy for me to identify a mentor, because I wanted to follow his path. You know, he was somewhere senior up there and I was looking up to him. And basically he can say, for you to get here, these are the things that you have to look out for. Like, you know, don't fall into ditches, don't do this. And But then you get into business and these guys come to me and they say, hey, Bogan, you've made it. We want you to be our mentor. And I said, no, man, guys, it doesn't work that way. You and I, we know what, we are partners. You're going to be learning from each other. You'll be shocked that there's always something that somebody knows that you do not know. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's not necessarily a mentorship. I can meet up with him in the future. I mean, even now I'm learning something from him, you know? He may be learning something from me, you know? So a mentor, anybody that I'm doing business with or that I find that I can learn something from, we're learning something from each other. Let's go for a round of golf. Let's go have coffee. You know, I learned something from that. Because the moment you say to somebody, they are your mentor, now they have to hold themselves in a certain position now.
At this, like here,
Exactly.
you are
Now
there.
they start saying things that they don't even do. You understand what I'm saying? They start not being themselves, or now there's like limits now.
Okay.
I can't be doing this. This person is looking at me from a reverence point of view. No. But then when we are natural, okay, how did you overcome this? Okay, cool. I can even call that person at any time. It's not my mentor. Hi, say, how are you? No. It was grant. In fact, I'm coming across this problem. When how did you do it?
Yeah.
I did this, and then
Sure.
what is it that I may not be aware of? I'm fanas. You know,
Do this and this.
and do
Look
this
out
and this
for
and
this.
that. There's mentorship.
Sure.
You know what I mean? In a very social and easier way.
I like that.
But to say to somebody, we're going to have a mentorship with you, and you're
you
going to
have
sit like
sessions like
this, and you're going to
this.
have questions, interview, and I am not,
Okay,
it's
not
fine
that
when you're
type.
in the
Okay,
organization,
all right.
when you're still in the corporate world, it's
Yeah.
okay. But once you're in the entrepreneurship world,
I like that.
person.
True, guys. This has been a very impactful session. I thank you so much. But where do we get hold of you? Your websites? People want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, it's Konagma social media. I mean,
Yeah.
people can get us. It's HAYA on Instagram. It's HAYA _ food for life.
Okay.
HAYA _ food for life.
I like that.
Yeah, and then with Facebook, it's HAYA food for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. BK?
Yeah, my website is www.bokankelepa.com, and Facebook you'll find me as Bokankelepa, Instagram Bokankelepa, and the companies you'll find Baletsema on any website or even on Facebook and on Instagram as well. You'll find the page.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Viewers, if you're not inspired, if you're not influenced by what these guys have been saying today, I don't know what is wrong with you. So you've got all the abilities within you to just go for what you want. Identify the problem. Then you know that you are the solution. Then you can flourish in your business. Therefore, I'll see you guys next time.